When Megan told me she was pregnant, I cried. Not out of fear, though I probably should have, but because I thought it was finally happening. After 5 years of marriage, a rocky patch, and talks of separation, this felt like a new beginning. "I'm 12 weeks," she said softly, sliding a black and white ultrasound photo across the kitchen table. I picked it up with shaking hands. "We're really doing this?" She nodded, eyes welling up. For the next few weeks, I hovered over her. Morning sickness, mood swings, cravings, she played the role perfectly. I read baby books, painted the nursery, even canceled a job offer in another state because we needed stability. Megan seemed genuinely happy for the first time in months. But then came the cracks. She never let me attend doctor's appointments. Said it stressed her out. She claimed her OB only allowed virtual consultations because of new policies. Strange, but believable. Until the night I noticed the ultrasound photo on the fridge. I don't even know why I did it. Maybe it was gut instinct or some subconscious suspicion. I snapped a picture and ran a reverse image search. And there it was. Page 3 of Google Images. Example ultrasound stock photo. I sat there, heart pounding so hard I thought it would crack my ribs. It wasn't just a lie. It was a performance. I confronted her that night. At first, Megan gaslit me, told me I was paranoid, that reverse searches weren't accurate. But when I shoved my phone in her face, she broke. "I thought if I got pregnant, you'd stay," she whispered. "I thought if I kept you busy with a baby, you wouldn't leave me." I felt sick. This wasn't just desperation. It was manipulation on a terrifying level. I started seeing things differently. The random emergencies that kept me from out-of-town work trips. The sudden panic attacks every time I mentioned counseling. Even the mystery texts from unknown numbers that she swore were spam. It wasn't just the pregnancy. It was our entire marriage. A week later, I packed my bags. No dramatic fight. No screaming match, just a quiet goodbye. I wish I could say I hate her, but mostly I pity her. Some people fake moments. Megan faked a life, and I'm finally done living in her fantasy. The night I left, she stood in the doorway of our house, the house I once called home, silent, arms crossed over her chest like she could still control the narrative. "You'll regret this," she whispered. I didn't answer. Maybe she wanted me to beg her for the truth. Maybe she wanted a final argument to twist back on me later. But I gave her nothing. The next few weeks were a blur of paperwork and silence. I moved into a furnished apartment across town. Friends asked awkward questions. Her family texted me cryptic messages. Megan, ever the actress, spun her own story, that I'd abandoned her when she miscarried. I didn't bother correcting them. What was the point? She crafted lies her whole life. I wasn't about to join her production. But it wasn't over. One night, I got a call from a blocked number. I let it ring out. Another came the next night, and the next. When I finally answered, I heard her voice. Soft, sweet, apologetic. "I made a mistake," Megan said. I wanted you to love me again." There it was, her classic move. Make herself a victim. Play on my guilt. Twist reality until I couldn't tell who was right and who was wrong. But I wasn't the same man anymore. "You didn't want love," I said calmly. "You wanted control." She hung up. I blocked the number. Over time, the call stopped. The rumors died down, and I started to breathe again. But what stayed with me wasn't betrayal. It was the realization that I'd ignored every red flag because I wanted to believe in us. I thought love meant trusting someone, even when the evidence screamed otherwise. Now I know better. Love isn't blind faith. It's seeing someone clearly and choosing them anyway. With Megan, I'd been blind, and she made sure of it. But now I see everything. 6 months later, the divorce was final. I walked out of the courthouse with nothing more than my wallet and my car keys, and I'd never felt freer. Friends congratulated me like I'd escaped a burning building. Maybe I had, but I didn't feel triumphant. I felt awake. I started therapy, more out of curiosity than desperation. I wanted to know how I could have fallen for someone like Megan. The answer wasn't pretty. I'd ignored boundaries. I'd explain away manipulation as love. I'd mistake obsession for devotion. Megan wasn't just a liar. She was a master manipulator, and I'd played right into her hands. But not anymore. One night, about a year after it all blew up, I ran into her at a grocery store. I almost didn't recognize her. No makeup, no carefully curated smile. Just a woman pushing a cart, eyes darting toward me like a deer caught in headlights. For a moment, I wondered if she'd try again. Another sob story, another performance. But she didn't. She turned around and walked away. And that's when I realized something. Megan didn't fake the pregnancy because she loved me. She faked it because she needed someone who believed her lies. Someone who would bend their reality to fit hers. I'm not that man anymore. That night, I sat on my balcony, watching the city lights flicker. My phone buzzed, a text from someone new, someone honest. I smiled. The past was a lesson. The future? That's mine to build. And this time, with both eyes wide open. A year later, I met Claire. She wasn't flashy. She didn't play games. She asked honest questions and gave honest answers. On our third date, I told her everything about Megan, the fake pregnancy, the manipulation. I expected her to pull away. Instead, she looked me in the eye and said, "Thank you for trusting me with that." It wasn't a fairy tale. It was real. That's what I'd been missing all along. Megan taught me that love built on lies isn't love at all. It's control dressed up as affection. But Claire showed me what love really is. Respect, trust, choice. One quiet Sunday morning, Claire leaned her head on my shoulder and whispered, "You're safe with me." And for the first time in years, I believed it. Megan is a chapter I'll never reopen. Because sometimes walking away isn't giving up. It's finally setting yourself free.